I've noticed about relationships today is how many people have forgotten what self-respect looks like. Everything feels desperate now. Forced. Emotionally chaotic. People chase attention the way a starving dog chases food. The constant texting, need for validation, anxiety over whether someone is pulling away from them. And somewhere along the way, people started confusing desperation with love. But they are not the same thing. Love should never require a man to abandon his dignity. A man should not need to beg someone to see his value. He should not convince or feel the need to convince someone to care. And he should never forfeit his peace trying to force clarity from someone who remains uncertain about him. That does not mean a man becomes cold or emotionless or incapable of love. Real strength is not pretending not to care. Real strength is caring deeply while still maintaining control over yourself. That distinction matters. A man loses himself when he's consumed with uncertainty. The moment he feels distance, he panics. He chases harder. He speaks louder. He over-explains himself. He abandons his own emotional stability, trying to hold on to someone who may already be drifting away internally. But a calm man understands something. You cannot force someone to choose you. You cannot negotiate attraction. You cannot beg for loyalty. And you cannot build peace on top of desperation. The harder a man chases, the further he drifts from himself, his true self. He stops sleeping peacefully. He stops thinking clearly. He no longer carries himself with confidence. His entire state of being becomes dependent on another person's attention. That is not love. That is emotional dependence disguised as devotion. A disciplined man learns how to give people space. Not because it does not hurt, but because he understands that forcing closeness, it destroys authenticity. real connection must be chosen freely. Otherwise, it just becomes an obligation. Resentment, performance, and eventually exhaustion. I think many men fear silence because silence forces them to confront uncertainty. But silence just reveals truth. It reveals interest, effort, loyalty, and intention. You learn very quickly who values your presence when you stop forcing it onto them. And maybe that's one of the hardest lessons a man will ever learn. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step back. Stop chasing. Stop forcing. Stop trying to control outcomes that aren't yours to control. Because a man who truly respects himself understands something important. If someone truly values your presence, they will not require endless pursuit just to remain in your life. And if they choose to walk away, begging will not create peace anyway. It will only destroy your dignity. I think calm men eventually realize love feels very different from desperation. Love feels grounded, mutual, peaceful, and honest. It does not require constant emotional panic to survive. Maybe that's why disciplined men become quieter over time. Because they realize that chasing people endlessly often leads a man further away from himself. Sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is remain calm enough to let go and allow people to choose freely, even when the uncertainty hurts.